ever wondered how someone was able to tie all those tiny pearls together into a snowball? Well, today we're going to find out. To start with, we'll need 30 3 to 4 millimeter semi-round pearls, 2 needles, and a 40-inch length of double-rowed thread. First, we'll put both needles onto the thread and tie the ends together to make a closed 40-inch loop, with one needle at each end. As with all of our other knots, we're going to fuse the ends together with a lighter to make sure it won't be able to come undone. The first thing we're going to do is add 5 pearls onto the string from the right-hand side. Next, we're going to run our left-hand needle through the last pearl of the group of 5, pulling the thread tight. This is going to turn our 5 pearls into a small cluster. Now that we have our first grouping of pearls as a base, we're going to repeat the process. Adding 4 more pearls on the right-hand side, we are going to take our left needle again and loop it back through the last pearl in our grouping. Pulling both needles tight, this creates a second cluster right next to our first. But to make sure it sticks, we'll run our left needle through the pearl nearest the one we just used to make our cluster, firmly attaching the two groups together. Continuing this process further, we'll again be adding additional pearls, 3 this time, on the right-hand side. Just like before, we'll take our left needle, looping it back through the last pearl in the group, pulling the thread tightly to turn it into a cluster. Followed by, again, using our left needle to secure the cluster to the main grouping. Still again, we add yet another 3 pearls to our pendant from the right, repeating our motions from the previous grouping of 3. Again, we're going to add another 3 pearls. This time, we're going to run our left needle through the 2 pearls nearest the pearl we just used to make the cluster, instead of just 1. Now, to finish off this half of the cluster, we're going to add 2 more pearls onto our right-hand side, creating a cluster and securing it through the next nearest pearl as we did before. Okay, we're halfway done. Now things are going to get a little bit different. As we did earlier, we'll add another 3 pearls to our strand from the left-hand side. After grouping them together into a cluster, we'll secure them to the main group by putting our needle through the nearest 2 pearls instead of just 1. From there, we're going to downsize again to 2 pearls, again securing them by putting our needle through the nearest 2 pearls in the cluster. I know this is a bit repetitive, but we'll be repeating this step 2 more times. One big difference, however, is that on the closing of the second cluster of 2, we'll secure it by running our needle through the nearest 3 pearls instead of 2 this time. When knotting multiple tiny pearls together like this, be sure to take extra care so that tangles don't occur between your thread. When making knots, be sure to pull slowly and stop to straighten the thread out should any abnormalities start to form. Finally, we're down to our last one. Adding 1 pearl to our right needle, we'll pull it tightly into our pearl grouping, and then we'll secure it this time by putting our needle through the nearest 5 pearls, one by one, in the cluster. Again, taking special care in between each pearl to make sure that our thread doesn't get tangled. Then, to finish it all off, we're going to tie 2 knots, one after the other, with our remaining thread, snip the remainder of the thread off, and, as always, fuse both of our knots permanently shut using a lighter. And there you have it, 1 pearl snowball pendant assembled right before your eyes. All we have to do now is add a silver chain into the mix, carefully sliding it between the gaps in our pearl cluster, and this lovely, contemporary piece of jewelry is now ready to wear.